1. A few years ago, I was visiting my friend who lived in the suburb. It wasn't a Desperate Housewives kind of suburb, more like a hood, really. But it had some nice dog parks and forest, and since it was summer and all, we walked around those places a lot. One evening, we went on a walk with my friend's border collie. It was pretty late, and we had wandered a bit further from our typical path. It was still light outside, so we thought it would be fine as we entered another small forest, which we had to walk through to get home. The fading sunlight was obscured by the trees, and I felt uneasy. During daytime, this place had a lot of joggers, but now it was quiet. There weren't any houses close by, and the forest was surrounded by this big sports field, which was also empty and silent. When we were halfway through, I saw a smaller path leading deeper into the center of the forest. We didn't have to go there in order to get home, but we had to walk past it. Somehow, my eyes were glued onto the small path, and then I saw it, a dark figure among the trees. First, it looked like he was going deeper into the path, but then he saw us and just stopped there. It almost looked like he was trying to hide from us. I didn't want to cause any panic, so I just continued talking to my friend. But at the same time, we had picked up our pace. She had seen him too. While we were power walking, I didn't dare look behind, but I swear I could hear branches being stepped on and hurried steps on the gravel. Luckily, we made it out of the woods, but we were still a bit nervous, so it didn't help when the dog stopped to sniff the ground. We just wanted to get home. Later, we went back into the forest with my friend and her brother, who practices martial arts, so we felt safe. This time, we explored the deepest part too, and we were surprised by what we saw. There was a big hole in the ground. It had lots of random stuff in it. We found a second hole too, and this one was very deep. While we were exploring that place, I had the same uneasy feeling. That place felt so wrong, and it had this ominous feeling as if we were being watched. We didn't go back into that forest again, and after that, we found new places to walk the dog. 2. The following story is told in the perspective of a female. I live in a block of flats in England and was on my way down the road to the local pub. I was meeting my boyfriend and his brother there, as they had just finished work and were on the train back home. My boyfriend had already rung me, saying it would be 10 to 15 minutes until they got there. I had been sent there early to grab a decent seat near the TV, as the England rugby match was due to be on. Anyway, I'm walking down the road looking at my phone, and I hear this woman shout, "Miss! Miss! Hello, miss!" and vaguely waving in my direction. I look up, and there's this 25 to 28-year-old woman with a massive box at her feet, and she's waving me over. Me being stupid, went over to see what her problem was. "Miss, can you help me take this box around the corner to my car? It's really too heavy." The woman is smiling at me and pointing at the box. Now, as soon as she said this, a thought crossed my mind. I'm a small girl myself. Why would she be asking me and not some men? Does she really think that I could lug this massive box with her? "Sorry, I'm busy," I say as I try to brush her off while turning away. "Please, I'm desperate. I have to get home to my kids. You have to help me, miss. It's too heavy." She's now yelling at me while squatting trying to lift the box. I start to get annoyed now. "Look, lady, my boyfriend and her brother will be here any minute now, and they can help you lift the box. I don't know how you asked me, a small girl on her own, and not one of the men in the street. I'm busy." Yes, I did feel bad for saying this to her, but alarm bells were ringing in my head. I couldn't understand why she had asked me, when there were men on the street literally queuing up to the cash machine, as well as walking past. The woman scowled at me. She gave me this evil look, pursed her lips, and took her phone out. I continued to make my way to the pub. I was 2 shops away, and I could clearly see one of the regulars smoking outside. I looked back over my shoulder just in time to see her lift the box up on her own and walk down the alleyway that was right behind her. What the hell? 3. The following story is told in the perspective of a female. I live in a townhouse complex that has security guards that ride around on golf carts to protect the people who live there. I don't know exactly how late it was. I think maybe 1 a.m. or something like that. I was on the phone with my friend Chris. I don't remember what we were talking about, but it was a sad conversation. So I'm sitting on the bumper of my car, and a black car pulls up, and a security guard walked out. I immediately was on edge, because the security guards were supposed to be on golf carts, not passengers, in suspicious black cars. He walked up to me and started asking questions. What's your name? Where do you live? Are you alone? Are your parents home? Who are you on the phone with? I was frozen in fear. I had no clue who he was or why he was questioning me. All I could think to say was, I live right here and my parents are home. I am waiting for my friends to pick me up, even though I live alone and nobody was actually coming to get me. He looked like he was on something, maybe meth. He smelled like rotting flesh, and even though it was dark, I could tell he was abnormally pale. He looked completely insane. After I said that, he stared at me for a couple of minutes, while my friend Chris was babbling in my ear, trying to get me to talk to him and tell him what was happening. I couldn't speak though. I couldn't get up and go into my house. I was frozen solid. He grabbed my hand and shook it really hard and told me to have a nice night. He got into the car, and I was just about to get up and run into my house as I heard the car door open again. 3 big men ran at me and surrounded me. I tried to tell my friend to call the police, but I was so scared that they were going to hurt me, I just stopped talking. They all got really close. It was completely obvious that they were on some kind of drug. The guy that was originally talking to me got close to my face, really close. He felt like he was an inch away, and I almost gagged because of how horrible his breath was. He said, "Do you believe in Jesus Christ?" in a really feminine voice. I had no idea what to say. I didn't know if I should tell him that I do believe in Jesus or that I don't. I ended up saying that I wasn't sure if I did or not. I never had any proof or any kind of spiritual awakening, and I had never been saved by him. They all looked at each other, and then the guy looked back at me and said, "You aren't ready yet." They all smiled at me, got back into their car, and drove off. I told the manager of the complex what happened, and he said that only one security guard was on duty at the time. I don't know who those people were and what they wanted, but I have some weird feeling that it was some sacrificial bullshit. I am currently looking for a new house. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, and if you'd like to see more content, be sure to subscribe. I appreciate you guys hanging out, and remember, the darkness is coming.